Okay, so I guess I'll launch into my intro. Lacey Filipich, you probably all saw that on the invite though. My background's actually chemical engineering. I worked in mining for 10 years and went into management consulting as part of that, and then had children and thought, I don't really want to go back to FIFO, and I don't want to live in America again, and I don't want to be on call. And I had an idea brewing for about 6 years this year, which was money school. And what happened was my mother taught me about money when I was a teenager, which was wonderful for me, it's turned out. So she had me investing from when I was 18. 19, I bought my first property. And that's really been the making of me. I was a second year student in engineering with no fixed income, and I still bought a property. Anyone can do it, it turns out. And I'm really thrilled that I did, because that's been the making of me, really, making that decision so young. So now in my mid-30s, I don't have to work. I can stay at home with my kids, and I've still got money coming in from passive income. And I find it really sad that so many of my friends didn't get that same education from their parents. And that's really, I think, a real opportunity lost for most children, because we don't get taught about it at school. We don't get taught how to manage our money. We don't get taught what passive income is or how to manage our tax. And that's why we have so many 18-year-olds getting credit cards and ending up in debt. And it's a really sad situation, and it's avoidable. But of course, kids don't come with manuals. Parents don't get taught what they need to teach, right? You know, you might need a license for a dog, not for a kid. It's a bit interesting. And I certainly remember getting the baby and being like, oh my God, they're going to let me go home. And money is the same thing. If you didn't get taught, how do you learn? And you don't. Often. You might pick stuff up from the media, you might pick stuff up from your friends, you might do some study, you might go to a financial advisor and have a good experience or a bad experience. But if you don't know what questions to ask, how are you going to be able to control that? So that's where money school came from, was me thinking, well, what did my mum teach me? How did she teach me? I want parents to teach their kids. Okay, so about me, this is my favourite quote about money. And it sums me up very well. Money frees you from doing things you dislike. Since I dislike doing nearly everything, money is handy. I don't like to clean. I don't like to cook. I don't really like to do my grocery shopping. I actually pay someone to receive my bills and open my mail and scan it for me. I am the epitome of lazy, right? And that makes you very effective. And I'm told that the best engineers are lazy, because if something breaks, they fix it once because they never want to look at it again, right? I really took that to heart. So for me, that's what I want with money. I want freedom to not have to do the crap that I don't want to do, so that I have time to spend as I want to. That's really the message for me. That's a funny way of saying it, obviously, but that's what I'm aiming for, is to have my own time and to not be beholden to a job to be able to afford that time. So I believe money is about choice. Now, I am very cheap to run. I don't take a lot of money to run. I'm very low maintenance. I drive a $6,000 car, and I can't remember last time I put a pair of shoes, and they were probably $10 anyway. So I understand that I am probably, compared to some women, quite cheap to run. But I can afford to go and buy a Louis Vuitton handbag if I want to. I just really don't care about them. So I don't. But I have the choice, and that's what it is for me. It's not about going out and looking rich. It's not about driving a flashy car and having an expensive house and having lots of debt. It's about having choices and being able to choose what you want to do, being able to choose to quit your job because you're miserable at it, or being able to choose to go overseas because it's a great time of year and you've got the time to do it and you don't have to work, that kind of thing. That's what it is for me. I also believe it's quite simple. I have conspiracy theories, but I think there's a vested interest in making money complicated for people, for using lots of jargon, making it feel overwhelming. So, just pay a financial advisor, it's all too hard. What we don't often get told is that a financial advisor can't sell you, legally cannot sell you anything that they are not licensed to sell. So even before you get through the door, you're being limited. So if you don't know what questions to ask, you're in trouble. It is not complicated, it is hard. Okay? It's simple. It's hard to do. I'm not going to tell you that, it's easy, you just save 20% of your after-tax income, life's just perfect, you know. No, it's not. You do need to know what you're doing, but it isn't complicated. Don't think that you can't do it. Don't think that not liking maths is a limitation. It's not, okay? This stuff is actually straightforward. You just need to know what you need to do. And finally, for me, freedom is about passive income. Too often people invest with this idea of assets. I'm going to have this home and it's going to be worth $2 million in 2 years' time. Yippee. How are you going to get that money out? Having an asset is one thing. It has to produce a passive income for you. Otherwise, to get the money, you have to sell the asset. Okay? Too many people invest with the idea in mind that they're going to buy an asset, it's going to grow, and then, hey, I'll be rich. No, you have to sell the asset. You want something that produces a passive income. And too often people don't invest with this in mind. And I think this has been the difference for me. I haven't gone and bought assets that are just lovely assets to have. I've bought assets that pay me. And now that's what pays me. That's how it works. If you start with that end in mind, then you buy the kinds of assets that put money in your pocket, then you're on the right track. So